If you ask an average Nigerian, who are the people who made the US Constitution in 1779 or 1789, they know them. They know them because we studied them right from primary school. If I ask you, do you know anybody who sat and framed or wrote the 1999 Constitution? I bet, except they are your friends who must have confessed to you in private. You won't know. All the candidates have at one time used local government monies to do bazaar. The constitution that we're operating in Nigeria today, in 1999 Constitution, wasn't a democratic constitution. It was written by the military and imposed on us by Decree 24. We need to change that. Atiku, remember when they took all the local government when they are building hospital, the money ended up in the hands of Obasanjo's in-law. Let's find out why local government leaders didn't vote for autonomy. Because they were themselves not voted into office by their own people. All the local government leaders are appointees of their governors. Where they hold election, the worst electoral body in Nigeria, state electoral election commissions. We participated in our party in 2020, in local government elections in Ondo State. We were still lining up, our people were still lining up. Ondo State governor, who is a constitutional lawyer, had announced the results of the people who won the election. So if you think INEC is bad, go to what they call State Electoral Commission, SEC, you'll be shocked. So, and that is the problem I have with most of the candidates. There are candidates who never supported local government independence or even transparency at local government. All the candidates have at one time used local government monies to do bazaar. Atiku, remember when they took all the local government when they are building hospital, the money ended up in the hands of Obasanjo's in-law. There was Peter Obi. He never allowed local government election throughout his tenure in Anambra State. Tinubu created local governments that was not transparent or accountable. Everything goes into his own private interest. So I'm the only candidate who understands how this should work. But a new constitution will drive that, because we must make the point about the fact that the constitution that we're operating in Nigeria today, in 1999 Constitution, wasn't a democratic constitution. It was written by the military and imposed on us by Decree 24. We need to change that. There's no radical development in Nigeria today that will not be ambushed, or that people will not fight against. There will always be pushback. Obasanjo creatively tried to change the constitution, but because he had a personal agenda, it was thwarted. All he was interested in was a third term. And the moment those people didn't get to do that for him, the process was abandoned. It's also been said that even the one that Goodluck Jonathan tried to do was even a better version of Obasanjo. But again, why did he not push that? He wanted a tenure extension, not as long as Obasanjo. He just wanted a 6-year one term. And the moment it was not captured by the intention of that conference, it was also abandoned. So we can add to that. My own would be to call a sovereign national conference, because let me tell you, all the things that our people are asking for, especially those who are asking for devolution of power, increasing resources control within the realm of who controls the most, they are all constitutional alterations that cannot be captured by just amending the constitution. And at any rate, for those of you who know law better than I do, you know that Latin maxim that you can't build something or nothing. The Nigerian constitution cannot accommodate an amendment because it was never framed by Nigerians. I say this everywhere, if you ask an average Nigerian, who are the people who made the US Constitution in 1779 or 1789, they know them. They know that because we studied them right from primary school. If I ask you, do you know anybody who sat and framed or wrote the 1999 Constitution? I bet, except they are your friends who must have confessed to you in private. You won't know. And it's not like you are not knowledgeable. You are very knowledgeable. But it's because there was no constitution made. It didn't pass through the processes of creating a constitution. And we need to acknowledge that. The constitution of a country is not something you toy with, It's like a holy grail. You must have a legitimate document. The constitution of a country is not something you toy with, It's like a holy grail, right? If somebody comes tomorrow and hands you a different Quran than the one that is in existence, the person will be accused of blasphemy. If someone goes and rewrite the Bible and say, no, we sat somewhere and we feel like the Bible is not modern enough, He did not talk about the computer. Would you accept it? I'm saying to become the president of the people of Nigeria and not the constitution of the military. And that's why I want to change it. You know, think about apartheid. When apartheid ended, there were blacks who started running for office based on the apartheid constitution. They had an interim constitution. But the interim constitution didn't cover all of the gamut of what was needed for a free state. They had an interim constitution. They were sworn in with it. And then they went and made a constitution that people say is some of the best on the continent of Africa. So when I get to become president, if you can't find the constitution, you can swear me in with Ahmad Dioha. It doesn't matter. It's just to make sure that that symbolism is done. And I want to tell you a small joke.
All right.
When Obasanjo was sworn in as the president of Nigeria in 1999, this was a story told by the Minister of Information. There was no constitution, there was no Nigerian constitution. A copy of the constitution was not available. That is what the Minister of Information said, and is available. You can Google this. So what was this sworn in on or with? Nothing. Because the issue at that time was a necessity. You know, we are transitioning. Even if the constitution is not ready, not even a photocopy of it. It was after the swearing in was done that they went and printed the constitution, 1999 constitution, which is now obsolete. That's what I'm telling you. One of our programs is food security, and you know that we must and we are capable of growing our own food and even exporting. But before that could happen, a lot of mindsets have to change. A lot of processes or conditions must change, and one of it is to have our farmland secure. All right. A lot of farmers can't go to work today. But the mindset aspect of it is that an average Nigerian official must allow us to have more tractors than SUVs in their convoys. I've seen governors that have over 50 SUVs, governors, because they walk around with 200 policemen, averagely. This is verifiable information. I didn't make this up. You know, instead of 50 SUVs, how about we have 48 tractors and 2 SUVs? You know, because so many of the SUVs are even more expensive than tractors. Because most of the SUVs you see with governors are bulletproof vehicles. Some of them cost as much as $1 million. You can buy over 5 tractors with $1 million. If you are buying in bulk, they will even throw one on top of it for you. And there will be tractors that can last for 4 years. Until we understand that agriculture has gone beyond just food, we must have it as a way of life. Until we understand that agriculture is also beyond way of life, it's also tourism. It's also energy. Because if you have a ranch that has over 1 million cows in it, you can use the cow dung to generate electricity, biogas. So, and people will say, well, how about we go and visit the cattle ranch? Because the Obudu cattle ranch that has become a hotel today used to be a cattle ranch. I will also set up a cattle ranch near our wall. I think they call it Akuna. Because they were interested in food security. You know, the Northerners also had what we used to call the granite pyramids. You understand? Displayed. Today we don't need a pyramid displayed outside. What we need is food pyramids inside people's stomach and not stomach infrastructure. So these concepts must be clearly understood but invested in as well. Because we shouldn't be the one, you know, smuggling rice into Nigeria. People should be smuggling rice out of Nigeria. We should be smuggling sorghum, cashew. We should be smuggling all the products that can have little value added to them and will make us, you know, there are countries like Ukraine. Ukraine is at war and still exporting grains to Nigeria. A Nigerian, I think Obieze Ekwesili has just been appointed by the Ukrainian president to be on a team that is going to discuss how more of their grains can be servicing the rest of the world. They are fighting Russia. They are fighting what can be likened to close to a world war. And we are not at war, even though we can admit that, you know, we're at war in some sense, but we are not at a level of war that we can't feed ourselves and we can't even feed the, you know, sub-Saharan African region.